We have our share of storylines surrounding this Buffalo Bills and Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup, right? And the first storyline that I would like to discuss is, can the Buffalo Bills chase down the New England Patriots and reclaim the AFC East? Now, look, and so I got to tell you, I was cautiously optimistic for the New York Jets, but I knew going into this game that they didn't have a snowball's chance in hell in being able to pull that off. Largely because the Jets are the Jets. And I refused to give myself hope when I saw them march down the field on a scripted offensive drive and thought that they would be able to establish some sort of consistency. Very impressive first drive for New York, but that's all Tanner Engstrand had in his bag. And you just ended up seeing punts, several 3-and-outs. It was an absolute catastrophe. But I didn't really buy into the fact that the New England Patriots were going to lose to the New York Jets. But like it or not, this team is now 9-2, and the Buffalo Bills are 6-3. We have an opportunity of being able to improve this weekend as we take on Tampa Bay, and I think that they certainly have their share of question marks, particularly based off of how injured they are. But this is a big thing, right? Like, you ultimately end up looking at the Buffalo Bills schedule. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? So, of course, Baker Mayfield is going to put his share of challenges, followed by the Houston Texans, who are very injured, by the way, on the offensive side of the football. Keep an eye out for CJ Stroud, because he's still reportedly suffering symptoms from the concussion he had a couple of weeks ago. And the rule, I believe, is that you need to have about a week to go through concussion protocol. So if he's still experiencing symptoms, I kind of wonder if he's even going to be eligible on Thursday. Regardless, this Buffalo Bills team has a very challenging opponent against the Houston Texans, followed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we know who this Steelers team is. I'm surprised they didn't get a wide receiver. I think the Buffalo Bills have a really good shot at this one. Cincinnati, more than likely we're going to be seeing Joe Burrow back, but this is the worst defense in the NFL. Can Buffalo get back to their 30, 40-point ways? I believe that they can, especially against a defense like this. Followed by the Pats, which is a big game, right? This ultimately could decide the division if, for example, we can get some help from the Cincinnati Bengals, who they play next week, the Baltimore Ravens, in which who they play the following. So something to consider. Browns, of course, have a really good defense. Who knows? Maybe we see Shedeur Sanders at that point. Philadelphia Eagles is going to be a game, okay? And if you think that the Bills' offense has been looking wonky, check out the Philadelphia Eagles. They have seen a significant step back in efficiency offensively. And then followed by the Jets at the last game of the season. Who knows what we would be playing for? I think we can all but kiss our hopes for the 1 seed away. But I would say that this schedule is pretty damn easy if you were to ask me, but not compared to the New England Patriots. They have the Cincinnati Bengals with Flacco, Chase, T. Higgins. I mean, maybe they end up eating their profits offensively, but again, this is the worst defense in the NFL by a country mile. So we'll see how that plays out. The Giants, I suppose a decent defense until, of course, it gets to the fourth quarter. Bills, again, like I mentioned, Ravens, Jets, and the Dolphins. So it's not looking too good, right? It's not looking too good. We are chasing this team, and all we can do is just control what is in front of us. This team needs to lock in, and we're going to need a little bit of help. It is what it is. It really is. But next up, have to talk about this next storyline here. So the Buffalo Bills and the Bucs both need this game. Like, whether or not that you would like to admit it or not, this Buffalo Bills team has no business losing this weekend. Quite frankly, we can't, because that just buries us right now when it comes into the division. But the exact same thing could probably be said about, let's go ahead and get to the National Football Conference here, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team right now has been dealing with a lot of injuries. And I think it's all pretty clear that they are not the same offense when you don't have Bucky Irving, when you don't have Mike Evans, when you don't have Chris Godwin. Panthers and the Falcons play each other this weekend at the exact same time as the Buffalo Bills are going up against Tampa Bay. So don't think that Tampa is going into this game with a relatively calm perspective. I think this is must win for them as well. They want to make sure and build their case of having as much of a gap between first and second place within the division. Because how good the NFC is right now, there is only one team that is coming out of the NFC South. Like with the NFC West is hyper competitive. The worst team has 6 wins. The NFC North, the worst team has 4. The NFC East, of course, I think you can go with the Eagles. It's either going to be the NFC North or the NFC West that has 2 to 3 teams, and only one team is going to be coming from the NFC South. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers likely need this game just as much as the Buffalo Bills. So don't expect them to go out there without sort of any grit. I'm curious to see what this team looks like since it's calling for some pretty frigid weather, rolling up into this weekend. So what team is going to be able to run the damn football and get it going, man? Both teams need it. That is storyline number 2. Number 3, look, I got to get back to our boy. And so I got to get back to our boy. It's Josh Allen. He's our guy right here, right? When it comes into Josh, take your profits, bro. Take your profits. Say that you've been watching some of my content all week long. You've realized that this Buccaneers defense is pretty quality at stopping the run. They have some issues defending the pass. They have some issues limiting yards after the catch. All things that Buffalo does relatively well. I want Josh to kind of stop forcing it to Keon Coleman. Right now, Keon Coleman leads this entire wide receiving room with deep targets downfield. Feed Shakir. He's one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the league by a significant margin. You're going up against one of the worst yak defenses in the world. Take that 4 to 5 yard pass up front, right? Take that little slant route from Curtis Samuel, right? Take that little James Cook pass over into the flat. I don't need Josh to try and stretch the field when he has all of the opportunities in the world in front of him. And more importantly, take care of the football. That goes to this entire team. You notice trends of when this team is able to win the turnover battle compared to when they are not, and the differences are striking. Take care of the football. No need for a red zone interception. No need for a fumble. As soon as we end up getting into the red zone, can't have it. All right. So we need Josh to be back to his MVP ways, take the underneath stuff, and then ultimately end up allowing the downfield stuff to work out. Destroy inside the numbers. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers team has a very good secondary as far as ball hawks are concerned, with Jamel Dean, with McCollum. Same thing with Antoine Winfield. A lot of ball hawks out there. So take care of the football. Josh, go on ahead and be yourself. The next storyline, man, what's this secondary look like? What's this secondary look like right now? So far, I think that we can all agree that the young man, Maxwell Hairston, has been wildly impressive thus far this year. I think that's the case. And now he gets his first real action, if you were to ask me. His first game against Carolina, very limited snaps. Slight uptick against the Kansas City Chiefs. He picks off Patrick Mahomes. Gets another interception against Miami. Gets burned by Waddle as well. Hopefully that's a good learning rep for him. What is he going to look like against Tez Johnson, right? Maybe he gets a couple of snaps against Emeka Egbuka. Like it or not, this secondary has been performing very well advanced metric-wise. Like, this team can get it done. Same thing with the run defense. We have to go on ahead, lock this down. Probably not going to see Bucky Irving right now. I'm going to get to that because that's the last storyline. But what are these young secondary members going to look like against this injury-riddled offense led by Baker Mayfield. What I can tell you is that I think that it's going to be relatively one-dimensional. Baker has been playing through an injury. He has not really been sort of throwing in his rushing attempts. In fact, I'm pretty sure he hasn't had a rushing attempt in about 2 to 3 weeks. He's dealing with some sort of injury. He's staying right inside of the pocket. So for the most part, he's just going to be sitting in the pocket and slinging it. What can our secondary do now that Benford is likely back, now that Maxwell Harrison, now that Taron Johnson is back? Take advantage of this inexperienced wide receiving core over in Tampa in home. That's what we need to see from these secondary players, 110%. And then last storyline that I would like to dive into right now is, can Buffalo ultimately end up showing the world that we are the same Buffalo Bills as 2024? I think that we can. And so I think that we can. You often look at what Buffalo has done for the past couple of seasons, and it's literally the exact same thing, like each and every single year during our slump. You look at the sentiments online. Like, you hear people say, oh my God, it's all over. Like, we need to fire everybody. It's done. A lot of the issues that Buffalo has had in the past are rearing their ugly heads again this year. All we need right now is complementary football. I genuinely believe that we can get there. Like, lock it in and make it happen. Lock it in and make it happen. We have so many different opportunities. Like I've said thus far, with Khalil Shakir, he's back in the game, right? He's questionable with a rib injury, but this guy is your key. He is your wide receiver number one. Stop ignoring it, especially against a defense like this. It's just how it is. Last but not least, we have Bucky Irving. That's the question. A lot of us are concerned that Bucky Irving may be playing against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. And I think we all know that this completely changes their offensive attack. Based off of what I've seen thus far, folks, and heard, it sounds like that, like, he's still in a red non-contact jersey and he can't take contact in practice thus far. If you were to ask me, I think that this is just ramping him up for the following week. Same thing with Chris Godwin. Based off of what we heard from Todd Bowles at the beginning of the week, I would be shocked if either of these two are playing, let alone both. But if they do, still no excuse. Still no excuse, man. We need big games from Benford. I mean, we just paid that dude. Show us that you're still CB1. Same thing with Maxwell Harrison. Show us that you were the right draft pick. Taron Johnson, bounce back. And you've been struggling this year, dude. It's just how it is. Folks, those are the main storylines I will be paying attention to on that game. Let's get into it. Statement: this will tell us a lot about this team on Sunday. It is a must-win at home. And like it or not, so we're still a very good home team. Barring that recent loss to the New England Patriots, still a very good team at home. And so especially with all of the conditions that we're going to be dealing with, and especially with how cold it's going to be, there's really no excuse. And that we drop any game at home moving forward. Teams don't want Buffalo in the playoffs. Teams won't be scared of the Patriots in the playoffs because of their inexperience in the postseason in recent years. It's so sad no one sees the problem. It's Sean McDermott. We don't need a new offensive coordinator every 2 years if our head coach could manage the offense, but he doesn't. So yeah, he's ousted in the playoffs once again. So the thing is, right, why I don't ever really throw a lot of energy into this, and I encourage all of you to stop throwing energy into this as well. I agree. I would have moved on from Sean McDermott during the Tyler Bass wide right playoff game. I would have moved on from him and I would have found somebody else. I would have put my hat in for the Ben Johnson conversation. But why don't I put energy into this conversation? Because he's not going anywhere. He is not going anywhere. This ownership has the Buffalo Sabres, and they are looking at the Buffalo Bills like their prized possession because we are still a playoff team. We are still competitive. We still have a winning record, surprisingly enough. If you want Sean McDermott gone, it's going to take 2 consecutive years of losing records and missing the playoffs. That's what it would take. So why do we even waste our energy even suggesting it? because we are all on the same page. Like you're not going to convince me like one way or the other that he should, because I agree with you. But like what's the point, right? We are fans. And sometimes I feel like when things don't go our way, exactly our way, we just focus far too much on critiquing and doom and gloom rather than attempting to find ways for what we have to succeed. And I feel that that's the sort of energy that I'm trying to instill in you guys is, look, I know that we haven't had a pretty good wide receiver. Guys, look, out of every single elite wide receiver in the league that was drafted, where did they select that guy? Like, where did they select that guy? Very oftentimes top 10, top 15. Like, this Buffalo Bills team has not had a draft pick earlier than 25 and God knows how long. That's one of the downsides of it, right? And so it is what it is, man. That's one of the downsides of having a consistent team is you don't get a for sure first round draft pick. And a for sure first round draft pick in my eyes is top 10. And we haven't had a top 10 draft pick in God knows how long. So rather than coming out and saying, oh, it's over, like he sucks, like we're going to get bounced in the playoffs, like how about we start having conversations and, okay, how is this going to work? How can we make what we have work? And that's what I'm in the business of. And what I'm in the business of saying is, okay, what we need to do is we need to start taking things that are given to us from the defense offensively. We need to get back to one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL, equally efficient in running the football and throwing the football. That's me. And so I'm not going to say, oh, the real problem is we don't have a wide receiver number one. Folks, there is nobody that is currently sitting on the couch that can come onto this roster right now and become wide receiver number one. It's not happening. It's not happening. So rather than focusing on things that didn't work out, how about we focus on things that we do have and how in the hell are we going to be able to make it work? And hopefully all of the coaches feel the exact same way. I love the Bills, but I don't think what we have is going to work. But how would you make it work? How would you make it work? That's how I feel like we need to look at it. Like we should be rooting for this team to make it work. It's precisely what we should be doing. I've seen a top 4 pick flame out before, Mike Williams, the OT. For sure. Dude, look. So with the draft is a gamble. And say that we get into off-season conversations, like, look, like, so I have a perfect off-season in my eyes. And so in my eyes, what we do is that we end up sending over a first rounder for either Jalen Waddle or Jordan Addison or Jamison Williams. Those 3 names are very interesting to me. Hell, you know what? And call the Jets again. See if the Jets would be open to moving on from Garrett Wilson as well. Like call all 4 of those guys. One of those 4 guys, I am thrilled to bring them onto this roster. Absolutely thrilled to bring them onto this squad. Followed by your very first pick going with a wide receiver in the second round. Or if, for example, that you could go on ahead and convince a team to take a 2027 first, we still have a first round pick in 2026. And we go with Malachi Lemon from USC on top of that as well. Or maybe even AJ Brown. That's what I would like to do. But right now, and there's no fixing it. Dan, there's no making it work to win a Super Bowl with this team, but we could potentially lose to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship again. See, I don't look at life like that. And see, I don't look at life like that. Once you end up getting into the dance, it is completely a different season. AJ Brown is going to get moved in the offseason. I agree. Load up on offense instead of defense. Give Allen true weapons. Maybe it's boring for JA, but most fans love to see the offense moving with a great running game and the underneath passes. I would take that with the dub at the end of the day. Like, look, like, So I feel like people are like way too entrenched in sexy offense, right? Like downfield passing. Oh my God, it's so great. Like, and so the best our offense has ever looked was last year. And we took all the underneath stuff. It's just how it is. And even ask Patriots fans, right? And even ask Patriots fans. Even ask the Kansas City Chiefs for the past couple of seasons. Once Tyreek Hill left, what was their entire mantra? Take what the defense gives you. Dink and dunk. It's what it is, man. Like, that formula wins the big game. It's not like we're off as far as the formula. Bean shouldn't draft a wide receiver. He should get wide receiver via trade or free agency in the offseason. I'm saying both. With Kansas City may not even make the playoffs. Will Davis play in the next few weeks? I think that he will be. I feel like he will be. Yo, Dan, I believe we could beat the Patriots when we play them in a few weeks. Hopefully we can. Chiefs would beat the Pats in the playoffs. Interesting. Dan, I'm a diehard fan, but I know this team's potential and we're wasting it and every fan sees it. Except for me. Pats looking real good, but could be the Commanders of last year, the best fourth place scheduled team. Curious how they do with the first place schedule. Statement, we win this one, and I see the Bills winning the rest of the games except for the Eagles. So I ended up getting some pretty similar energy last year, right before we ended up going up against the Lions, too. Take what the defense gives you. That's what made Tom Brady. Exactly. Hence why it doesn't make sense about the whole Brian Dable thing. It just doesn't. To me. Remember you said Hamlin was a starter in the NFL. Looks like Bishop has already outplayed him for a few games. We are not beating the Pats. I never said that he was a starter in the NFL. I said that he was a quality backup who was forced to start, my friend. And by the way, with Damar Hamlin has me blocked on Twitter for some reason. I have no idea why Damar Hamlin would have blocked me on Twitter. As many of you know, I have defended Damar Hamlin like crazy for the past couple of years. And so I never said that Damar Hamlin was a quality starter. I said that he was a quality depth player and he was capable of starting. Pats sweeping Buffalo 3-0, someone's saying. With the AFC conference wide open this year, don't be surprised if a wild card team makes the Super Bowl. I agree. They can turn this around. It's more mental. Just play football. Do what you got here. See space, get to space, throw, catch, run. Exactly. We need our special team to get better returns on punts. Hope they put Hardman back there. I agree. You getting the Hugh Kicks dab. I don't know what that is, man. What is that? Dable is good with scouting and player development. Is he, though? Is he? Because say that he was, man, he'd still have a job with the New York Giants. Hamlin blocked you? That's funny. Yeah, dude. Wild stuff. I have no idea why he blocked me. With Dable was not the problem in New York. That offense was averaging only 50 yards less a game and only had 5 fewer touchdowns for the season. Statement, as disappointed and embarrassed as I felt about last Sunday, I still root for my Bills and want 2024 Josh Allen back in case you missed it. Yes, absolutely. True. We have jump on. All right, guys. That's going to have to do it for another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. I hope each and every single one of you have a wonderful weekend. As always, definitely be on the lookout for some more pre-recorded videos. I have been dropping quite a few of those. So I can give you even more content, right? And then I will be live for my live play-by-play reaction against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 12. For the life of me, I really hope it's a good game to watch. I really hope that Buffalo figures it out. But thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Dom Mafia Report, and we'll see you next time. Shout out to our good friends over on Sleeper, folks. Sleeper, bar none, the #1 player prop platform on the market today. I got to tell you, look, I took the unders on 5 different Jets players last night, and I hit big. I think that's my player prop parlay strategy all season long, just taking the unders on everyone on the offensive side of the football for the New York Jets. It has been paying dividends folks. That much I can tell you. Signing up, you get a free $20, okay? And if you decide to put down a deposit, they will match it up to 100%, up to $100. Take advantage of this wonderful promo that they have going on right now.